So God bless you. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be in Matthew 18 when we get there. And this is a video that I've wanted to make for a long time. And I haven't, but I want to talk to you about sympathy and empathy. And the issue is, as society becomes less moral, having empathy for people who should know better is not something that I can come into agreement with. And so I think as believers, we're told that we should always, have sympathy or maybe empathy for people. But if it's not tethered in morality to restrain it, I can't do that. So I'm going to share an example with you. But let's first get to the passage here. This is Matthew 18, starting in verse 15. Moreover, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. But if he will not hear, take with you one or two more, that by the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. And if he refuses to hear them, tell it to the church. But if he refuses even to hear the church, let him be like to you a heathen and a tax collector. So I want to preface this by saying, anytime kids are in a circumstance through no fault of their own, the sympathy and the empathy is very different for me than with an adult. Sometimes children don't get those things that they need from their parents, which is awful. And parents perpetuate something that isn't biblical. So in this example, I'm going to share with you, this is a grown adult woman. So now it says brothers in that passage. So these are believers, right? And it says if he sins against you. So this example isn't a sin against me, but you'll see what I mean here in just a moment in our time together. So this particular woman, her dad was a pastor. She went to a Christian school, and she decided that she should be a man. And so then there was a fundraiser. So I will not be and cannot be empathetic to a circumstance like that. To donate money for someone to get surgery from a person who grew up in the church, who knew better, whose parents knew better. I don't know if her parents were in agreement or not, but I will not donate. And to see other people in that same Christian school donating to that, I cannot have empathy for that, because this is not something from God. So how could I be empathetic in that circumstance? But I think because society is on this empathy bandwagon, and they think therefore as believers, we should always have sympathy and empathy for everyone. I think if we don't tether our sympathy and our empathy with morality, that can create a problem. So for kids who can't, through no fault of their own, they have a different set of circumstances. If your house burns down, I have sympathy for you. I have empathy for you, and I want to help you through donations, etc., things like that. But in that same scenario, if your house burns down because you decided you were a scientist and you were making illegal concoctions with a beaker and a fire broke out and now your house burned down, well, that's a different set of circumstances. So my issue is that we have sympathy and empathy, and as society becomes more immoral, but the push is that we should still continue to be sympathetic and empathetic for people. But if we don't tether that with morality, I think that creates a problem. Armor up, we ride at dawn. May God bless you as always. Have a great day.